So, welcome everyone. This is Cesar Ramirez, MCPP of ISEC in Sweden. Thank you very much for joining us for this second session of Get the Goal. Members of ISEC in Sweden, especially those from iGT, already know. Get the Goal is our national sales marathon. It's a sales development program in which we are educating the iGT sellers of the entity, and so we are having a different FASI addressing a topic related to IGT sales. And we also have a competition to look for the best seller of the semester. And this seller will be rewarded during our national conference in January. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mariana Barragan. So Mariana Barragan is also from the same country I come from Mexico. Woo! And I know her personally. She was BPTM in Isaac and Leon, which is one of the most performing LCs back in Mexico, and she's really sweet. Actually, she's my great granddaughter, I think, because I was MCP IGT 1516 in the Isaac in France, and now she's MCP CXP
Yay.
in Isaac in France. But so I will leave Mariana. You can have the your microphone for yourself.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Cesar. I'm super happy for being here. And today we're going to see mainly how to do networking for IGT. As Cesar, and this is the index. These are the 5 things that we're going to see today. Why to do networking, where I can find networking events, how to do networking with other people, some tips, and then I'm going to leave you to do some questions so I can answer them. And as Cesar say, I'm Mariana. I'm the MCPCXP of France, and I'm Mexican. I'm 22 years old. I come from ISEC in Leon, and as I told you, I am CXP of ISEC in France for this year. So I hope that you find this session super helpful for you, and we leave the questions at the end. So, why to do networking? Why is this important? Why even put yourself in your time and everything to do these kind of events? It's mainly because there's always a chance that you can find a person that it's going to be linking you with other important positions in the places that you want to be to find and to do sales for networking and everything. So there's a theory in life that it's called 6 degrees of separation, which means that there are 6 levels that can find you the correct person that you want to find in order to get the thing that you are interested in. So, for example, here's you can find yourself, and then you have an aunt that knows and has these coworkers, and then these coworkers know mainly, for example, a senator, and this senator knows the president. So maybe this aunt can tell you, hey, I have this person that probably knows this the president of these things. So in networking words, if you go to a networking and maybe you meet a person that can link you to the CEO, for example, of a company, and this person can endorse you in order to have the sale in that company or in that organization. So yeah, probably I can give you an example here in France. This LC went to a networking event where the VP, met this person that is going to link her to all of the companies of the city. So that's amazing because it was not it. She wasn't planned that to get to know that person. However, like it linked you to everything. So probably you can find someone in a networking event. So probably right now you are asking where I can find networking events and how to do you do this kind of search. And I can recommend you three things, and it's super simple. The first one is go to Facebook and just type networking, and then you go to the part of events, and then you're going to find a lot of events. And in this case, Paco put this screenshot, and he found a lot of events about networking in Stockholm. So probably you can do that in your city as well, and it's super interesting because there are many types of networking. The second place that I can recommend to you is Eventbrite, and in this is a web page that can link you to all of the events of a city, like concerts or like museums, everything that you want to find there, you can find it. And in this case, you can find as well networking events. So in this case, for example, you can search for Stockholm or your city, and then you can find a lot of things here. And this is the place where Paco and me can recommend you the most, because it has a lot of things that you can find there. And last but not least, Google. It's super simple to find events in Google that can link you to every kind of networking event. And as I said, like, you can find every type of um, networking, like marketing, IT, administration, etc., etc. It's super useful. So the next question that I can say is, should I go to all of them? Of course, you can go to all of them. You can get a lot of contacts in every kind of networking event. However, like we recommend you to focus in the ones that you are selling to. So I asked to Cesar what was your focus of products, and in this case, it's business administration, IT, and marketing. So you can search for networking events that are related to these subproducts, and it's going to help you a lot to segmentate your market. And it's going to be super helpful because um, if you are selling to everyone, of course you can do it. However, it can be difficult to find the correct profiles. So if you focus in subproducts that you are selling to, it's going to be easier for you to find the profiles that you are searching for, and it's going to be better the value delivery for it. So search for them in the places that you want to look at. And yeah, so some tips for these kind of things: go to the events that are accordingly to GT of your product that you are selling. um, as I told you, don't go to all of them because you can lose valuable time. And pick your events strategically. And then, how to do network. And it's super simple. It's mainly the first step that you have to do is, of course, looking and then going. It's the easiest part of how to do networking. So another thing that you can be afraid of is to get a no. But there are a lot of books that you can find about these kind of situations. However, like, even if you get a lot of no's, when you have one yes, that's a valuable yes. And having one thing instead of a zero, it's always getting you somewhere. So don't be afraid to have a lot of no's. Don't get frustrated, because it's part of the role that you are having. Having a lot of no's is kind of something that is known as being in IGT. And don't get frustrated because of that, because you are getting experience, and you are going to improve even better how to sell your organization. Because sometimes, if you are starting, maybe you can start talking a lot, and then when you have a lot of experience, you are only going to say the correct things in order to get a sale. So don't be afraid of a no. And don't forget that these people is not that bad, they are people too, so they have time, and they have they can be comprehensive, and they can hear you. So don't be afraid of saying hi. In this case, in networking events, you are not going to a networking event to get sales. You are going to create relationships. So in this case, going to a networking is going to meet other people, and then you can do everything that you want to do in the sales meeting. So first thing that you have to know is to create relationships. So, how to approach someone? Super simple, is going and to say hello and give us a shake hand. Like if you go, hey, I'm Mariana, how are you? And then he can start talking to you. So this is super easy, and people is not that bad. They are not going to leave you with the hand there. So don't be afraid to approach someone. Um, then the second thing that I can recommend to you is to ask W questions. What are those questions? It's super simple. What they do, why are they here, what the organization does, etc., etc. Because if you are hearing more, then you can understand better the things that they are doing. And this is something that it's super important. Listen to them. You're not there to talk, you're there to listen, and to be sure that you're hearing the correct information, because you can find connection points between the company and ISEC. So if you are talking about ISEC always, you're not going to hear the needs that the other company has. And if the needs are not fulfilled, then ISEC is not going to be helpful for them. So in this case, it's the other way around. Hear them a lot in order to you to get this tiny thing that can link you and link you to an interest point of the other person. So if they're saying, so yeah, we do marketing promotion to other companies, and yeah, it's super difficult to find persons to work with this kind of field, and la la la, and then you say, okay, so we are the company, the organization that can provide to you this person that can work in marketing. So it's super important to hear. And that's other thing that I'm telling you. So ISIC in no more than 5 minutes, and ask for a minute to meeting to sell global talent. So what does that mean? That, as I told you before, you're not there to create sale. You're not there to sell the product. You are there to create relationships. So after the networking, you can have sales meetings. So you are not there to talk all the way to ISIC. So right now I can give you 5 steps to do to sell ISEC, and they're super easy. The first thing is, as I told you, tell your name, ask W questions, break the ice, like how's the weather, how are you, tell me about your life, etc., etc. Then after he's always talking about himself and everything, he's going to get back the conversation to you. So in that place, you're going to give context of what you do. So we provide organizations with global interns, etc., etc. Super simple. The phrase, it's always like, we provide this thing to these persons, and ISEC is the world largest organization, etc. So the third thing is to raise curiosity. So after you explain a little bit about ISEC, then it's, would you like to know more about this? Does this sound interesting for you? This is the fourth step. And in this part, he's going to tell you yes, no, and then after it, you're going to ensure the next steps. So as you can see, this conversation doesn't take that long, and doesn't give you all the information of ISEC. Of course, in the step 2, you can give more information about the ISEC way, why you do what we do, etc., etc. But this is the basic thing, and it's going to help you a lot in order to give concrete information to the other person, and they are going to be clear about what they do. As I told you before, the sales meeting is where you are going to be talking and I don't know, expressing yourself in everything. So you never start the product the first time. As I told you, the objective is to do meetings. And remember, a meeting success. A meeting is always, you're going to be successful in your schedule in meetings when you have a day, a time, an hour, and a place. This is your golden rule. If you don't get a meeting with those 4 things, then it's not a meeting itself. Why? Because if you say, hey, can we have a meeting, etc., etc., and yeah, I call you, and they don't give you their information, that means that they're not going to call you ever. So you have to ensure that they give you all the information in order to have a meeting. What does that mean? After all the conversation that you have, hey, are you interested in this? Can we have a meeting on Tuesday at 5 in your company? Yes, he said yes, amazing, whatever. But then, if they don't give you the information, that as well is a waste of time. So be sure to have these things and as well the information, because after the networking event is to give a follow up. So what does that mean? After you are happy with the networking, etc., etc., you get to your house and then you write an email. So in this email, say, hey, person, I'm super happy to meeting you this in this networking, and we talk a lot about how to have like a cool partnership with ISEC. So in that case, we talk about having a meeting in this day at this hour in your company. So I'm just ensuring that you are aware of it. So I'm just having the confirmation from your side, and we're good to go. After it, he's going to answer you if they need to change or whatever, but you're ensuring that you're going to have that sales meeting. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of tips. This is super easy. If you're afraid to go alone to a networking event, then you have a Wingman partner. In this case, like, you can go to with a member, and this member can help you to raise confidence in yourself, and you can talk, etc., etc. And then always ask for the card, because never for because if not, it's going to be really difficult to set a sales meeting. Be always yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be super correct, or don't try to be super formal, because that always they leave you to think that you are a little bit nervous. But if you are calm, and if you start talking with someone else, be always yourself, because you're awesome. So always trust in yourself. Dress accordingly. Business casual is always the dress code for a networking event. In this case, you can go with a shirt, a pants, and a cool shoes, and with that dress code, you are good to go. If for the girls, you can wear a dress, or you can have like this cool blazer and a pant and a good heel, or nice shoes as well. Always, if you get bored, always speak to the person that is next to you, because probably you are afraid that you're not going to meet the right person for the right sales meeting, etc. However, like, in this case, you don't know if that person is going to link you to someone amazing. So that's what I told you in the first thing that we talked about, this theory of the 6 degrees of separation. So don't be afraid to talk with all of the people that it's in the networking event. After all, for this is the main objective for a networking event, to create contacts and to create relationships with someone else. So all of the people that are going to be there is with the same objective as you, to find the correct deals for their company. So they are not going to be closed for you. Okay. So yeah, this was a little bit fast, but now I give you the mic to do Q&As and ask me whatever you like to ask.
How can you determine which is the best icebreaker to use with one person?
Okay, so I think it depends to the kind of networking that you are, because if you are to going to I don't know, an IT networking event, maybe the best icebreaker is to talk about technology, or to talk about something that, I don't know, Mac released recently about iPhone 9 or something like that, because it can give you nice information about what they are interested in. So if you go, for example, to a marketing networking, you could talk about like um, how the Facebook is going, for example, or something like that, that can be linked into the event. Something as well that it's always useful for you is that you're always aware of what is happening in the world, because you can go, hey, you know what is happening in Russia? And they're like, yeah, what is going on there? So if you're aware of the world's news, then it's going to be super useful as well.
Yeah, I think that that's a great tip. And actually, something that I would add is like sometimes in some events, especially in Facebook, you're able to see the people that are attending the event. And that's really cool because if you see the list of guests, maybe you can see which company they work at, and maybe you
Mhm.
can make a connection. So, oh, I want to approach these people. So you already know beforehand who you want to approach. So you go to their Facebook or LinkedIn profile and you check how they look like. So when you're in the event, you actually can go right to where they are and start talking to them because you're interested in partner having a partnership with that company.
Yeah, that's exactly as well what you can do.
Hmm. And I think something else is that if you already know, okay, which kind of companies are attending, like maybe you can do some research about something cool they're doing, especially in Sweden, as there are a lot of new companies that are promoting really cool apps. So maybe you can try to check the app, and so you can approach them with questions you have regarding the app, or maybe some positive comments, stuff like that, and then you can start having a conversation that can lead to, okay, so this is what Isaac does, but I would like to talk to you further about it, so why don't we have a meeting?
Exactly.
Cool. So any questions, guys? No? Okay. So therefore I think this is the end of the session, but thank you very much, Mariana.
Thank
It was really, really cool to have all these tips and tricks when doing networking. Thank you for sharing some of your experience, and I just want to make a quick announcement regarding next week. So I will share my screen. Okay, so next week we're having another cool session. It's going to be approaching new customers. The first is going to be Hat Ismail. She's MCPD manager of Isaac in Egypt. She's going to be on the same channel, 8 p.m. on Thursday, 29th November. So we hope all of you join us. Perfect.
Mm.
So, thank you very much for everyone attending this webinar, and merci, Mariana, for joining us.
Merci beaucoup as well. And see you guys. Thank you very much for being here. And you can ask for my contact with Cesar in case you have further questions. And yeah, thank you.
Yes, if you have any questions, she will be glad to answer. So, thank you very much, everyone, and have a nice evening.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.